Welcome to the Build It Better podcast. I'm your host, Robert Johnson, and I couldn't be more thrilled today to have Yudhisthir Gauli. I think I got it right.
Yeah.
Okay. I maybe said the Gaul a little hard, but welcome.
Correct.
Now listen, I could try to describe who you are and what you do, but I'm going to give you the floor here and let you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Robert, for picking me for your podcast.
Sure,
I'm Yudhisthir
sure.
Gauli. I studied aerospace engineering in Germany. I came originally from Nepal. I always wanted to make something amazing for the human so that the life will be better. Now, finally, I found my call to make the homes for the that's the what we do with the robots. I started almost 10 years ago to work with the robots, and we tried to make robots work like a human hand. So robots are very difficult to program. So from there, so that time the AI was not in the market, and I thought about how to make this all the movements and everything according to the part. And finally, I opened a company name called Artsum in Germany and started working with the AI and the robots. That is my background, and now I'm here.
Okay. Now, you are also a patent holder of many patents
Yes, multiple.
that all pertain to the robotic industry, AI, in particular, or is there? What is your patent span?
More, yes, in all sort of robotics, robotic applications, algorithms, different things.
Okay, so you touched on something and we've talked about this in previous conversations that I want to kind of dispel the myth as we get going here. A lot of people have this reticence about involving robotics and AI in the construction process because it's going to take the jobs away from the skilled worker, the craftsman, if you will. You and I talking about that, you said something that I found interesting coming from somebody on the robotic side. But again, it just clearly shows that you get it. You said to me that there are some things that just are never going to replace the human element. I, we can do robotics all day long, but there's some things that a human with fingers, etc., can do better than a robot. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Yes, humans are very, very precise, and we can't make the machines like the humans. I don't think sometimes also down the road, and we can even feel so fine. The numbers are very precise. So when it goes to about the this all this artificial intelligence and the robots factories will create more jobs than it will erase. If we count the numbers, like we see, we have 7 million missing homes, or we are lack of 7 million homes in the United States. All over the world, there are hundreds of millions. So we need so many people there to organize this, to do this, so many tasks. The robots are just the assistants. They can help us to build the homes faster with us together, hand in hand. It's not going to
Yeah.
make the homes for us. And the robots themselves make no sense for themselves, So they are just the slaves, always will be the slaves, also in million years. We can program them, we can let them do something, we can put the AI, but it's always the slave, and we are the masters, and we know what we need, not the robots know what we need.
Yeah.
So there will be
Yeah.
more
Very well said.
jobs created, and there will be more creative jobs. There will be lots of different type of jobs that we cannot automate everything. So if we can automate 70% and help accelerate the manufacturing of homes, that's already a lot, the construction jobs. We
Yeah.
will create
Yeah.
the problem now which we have, like you were talking about. I want to add one thing: is the classical people think like they are against the automation and robotics that will create the job somewhere else. So we have to be very
Mhm.
careful that we create the jobs here instead of somewhere else. And
Yeah.
if we go directly in the factories, what happens is robots will make the companies profitable so that they can hire more people to accelerate the
Correct.
process. That's what people forget. That's the most important point. So we can make ourselves competitive. That's what we are lagging in the United States of America against other part of the world. So other parts of the world like Europe, Japan, Germany, Korea, they are highly automated. They have so much workforce and highly paid workforce. China is massively increasing
Mhm.
their investment in that side. So United States should not lag behind, and we have to invest more in this sector.
Yeah. Boy, well said. So another thing that you said, and I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit here before we dive in more to the nuts and bolts, but one of the things we talked about is the phrase affordable housing. And you again said something that I've thought of, but I just really hadn't heard it maybe said or put exactly like you did. Is that we have it all backwards here when it comes to affordable housing. We are dumbing down the housing to fit a economically pinched market. So we've we've made the worker earn less and less money, and now we're trying to build homes that are affordable so they can't, the object would be to make the economy better,
Yes.
thus making people afford a better home. Um, which is what this ultimately at the end of this, the using the robotics and automated technologies and AI. That's ultimately what we're trying to do here, because long before we started using robotics, our skilled workforce, our labor force started to diminish. And what we're doing now is trying to find a way to replenish or strengthen that workforce. So, yeah, I absolutely I applaud the mentality of what you're doing with robotics. Um, let's talk about this now. When it comes to building homes or any structure, it could be anything for that matter,
Mhm.
and utilizing automation, robotics, AI. Explain to us when we're talking about AI and how it helps. What is? Give me an example of an application where AI and robotics, maybe that interaction comes in as it pertains to a building environment.
So you have designed the home, and you
Mm-hmm.
have the data from the home, and you
Mm-hmm.
send different things, and now you send that to the this raw data or the finished data from the for us it will be raw data, for you it will be the finished data. So you send
Mm-hmm.
to us, and now the AI will start calculating all these things and the process how the application will be implemented to make this. It starts from planning the factory actually, and then goes on. So we'll make the best movements, best path. We'll calculate how much material should be used, which material should be used, how much will be the rest material, all the things, so that we and the errors and everything. So will all be simulated and cross checked and then implemented. So this
Yeah.
prevents also like waste materials and the best process and faster. That's why AI is very important in robotics. As the robotic itself is very difficult to program. If we go to the that's what we have now in the market also. People think about it's like the making the manufacturing the car, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not the same in case of the home. It's different. Different people wants different, and it's customized, and it's an investment for the lifetime. So people want different, so that's what was going on in the last decade also. When we go back, we cannot manufacture the home like the car.
Yeah.
So we need the AI because there are differences. Different parts will come, different things will come. So the applications will be different according to the design. That's why we need the AI. Otherwise, we have to program for each home. That will be much more time consuming and will be that's the accumulated problem what we have in the housing industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Exactly.
every house you start, the car companies make millions of cars, they program one time the line, and in the housing it's different. That's
Yeah.
why we need
Especially.
AI. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. You get. Thus, the reason. Thus, the one of the best places, if not the best place for it, is in a volumetric or a modular factory, to where you might have be running 3 or 4 different floor plans through the
Yes.
line at any given time, but you can utilize the efficiencies and run 5 or 10 at one time before you would have to, or reset to some pre-programmed other building.
Yeah.
um, and I would think, just in my mind, some of the things that robotics do better, when it comes to housing, is lifting. I mean, lifting is one of them. Of course, workman's compensation claims and injured workers, and
Yes.
all of the stuff that goes on with it is a huge piece of what drives up cost, for a lot of people. And lifting is one of the best things that a robot does. And lifting and moving and manipulating, not necessarily putting a screw in something or a tack weld, although that can do those things as well. Where do you find the best benefit for robotics in home building?
That's also one of the assembly is also another one with the AI. It's better. We have also done the assembly line assembly things. So I find all material handling, like you said, we have robots with a high load capacity. So also you can use two if it's not enough, but it's a 2000 kilogram they can lift up, so it's a huge one. And where we have like cutting, the precise cutting, saw applications, milling, drilling, like putting the nuts and bolt. These things can be done with fully automated system with the robots. So we have many
Yeah.
applications which we can do. We can do the paintings and all the things. So it's will accelerate the process, and it also, like you said, it's very safe for the humans, and we can work some things that is less riskier for us, yeah, and our hazardous for our body.
So let me ask you this. So let's take it to, let's kind of give a high level. Let's assume that I'm already in the modular building space. I have a small factory, and I have a big order. I've got a big, pipeline of work coming, and I decide, or I feel like, incorporating robotics is the next step for me. Walk us through that process. When somebody reaches out to you, what is it that you discuss and look for with that individual?
So first of all, when they come, like you said, if they have existing factory or not, we start from the scratch, or we retrofit the factories. We have different sections, like we have advanced autonomics, where we do the retrofitting and all those process acceleration in the factories which exist. Or we have the robotics, where we make the complete from the scratch. What we do, we and want to know which the data from the customer, what will be the output, what will be what type of the 3D data, 2D data, what they have, what are they manufacturing. We need all this raw data, and how much will they produce, how many homes, how many modules, how those numbers. And then we design the factory, or retrofit the existing factory according to the design, their demand. And we go also, we calculate the ROI. That's very important, how economic it is. And all these things. We have an engineering package we have also written in our website. They can visit, and we try to find out what they do, and then go through this process and give the exact solution according to their needs.
Okay, so you said something that's very interesting. So in the and I'm in the or come from the light gauge steel, which you've also worked in the light gauge steel sector. Um, we design our buildings. There's several different design softwares, but they're done typically in BIM. So a 3D model is created, it's panelized, etc. Does it then take another set of software? Do you have to have somebody that designs it for your cold form steel, and then they have to redesign it for the robotic implementation, or how does that work?
No, we read the data from all the parameters and the data from the software which we have in the market. You don't need extra. We have already developed
Interesting.
to read those things from the AI. So we developed. That's our most important thing. What we developed is the engine which can read the data from the customers.
Yeah, man, that's huge because everybody has a machine, whether it's a roll forming machine or
Mhm.
whether it's a robot or whatever it is, and then you decide, oh, this is the best one, and then they go, yeah, well, that's just one cost, and then there's this cost that you have to have for this software package that is also quite costly, and so that's an important, really something that's very important to understand is that you're not going to have to change your design process. Are you
No,
going to have to
we don't
change
do
some
that.
things? Absolutely. But the way you design a home or you have existing designs already, that
Yes.
doesn't have to be changed to work with your robots.
Exactly, we don't change. We adapt with, if we don't have in our portfolio, let's say some, we have most of the data format. If we don't have, then we will adapt it, but not we change the software. We don't work on the construction software, so that's the raw material for our software. So we are not going to develop those things. So we adapt, and we have the plugins developed for different. Yeah.
Man, all of this stuff is so interesting to me. I kind of geek out anyway, but this is when I think. I'll give an example. My son, who is a project manager on the tech side, doing IT project management. He's
Mhm.
great with his hands. I mean, he could build anything at 15, 16 years old. He was great with his hands. He came to me one day and he's like, Dad, no offense, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. So he's now in that, 41 years old this week. There's a generation there
Mhm.
that does, I mean, they like the trades, they like building, they like architecture, but it's just like that getting out there in the 120-degree heat, and that's just not for me. This opens up a whole new area for people to learn and get involved in the building trades. Correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to go back. How did this get from India to Germany?
Mhm.
What was the makings? Why Germany? I'll just throw it out at that.
Because Germany was good for the technology and machines and robotics. I mean, one of the best place in Earth to make. They are very good in building the machines, CNC machines, robots, and all those processes. So when I decided to study aerospace or the mechanical, it's basically the mechanical engineering. So I thought, yeah, I look at the world and I said, this is the best country. They make Mercedes, they make Porsche, they make all the good machines. And then I just thought, yeah, let's go. And I applied for that, and I got the also the in the university the place. And it was also like in Germany we don't pay the tuition fees, so it's also the plus benefit, and
Oh,
you can learn the high tech and implement for to help all those industries. That's why the
oh,
Germany.
amazing. Yeah, I did not know that. I mean, people think of Germany as advanced engineering. Uh, they build really nice, the Mercedes, et cetera, which I know has moved from Germany since. But a lot of the roll forming companies, their components, bearings, roller gangs, things like that come out of Germany. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but I just found it an interesting kind of segue in your career that took you through Germany, and clearly it was for the better. Um, so, did you mention Framebotics earlier?
Yes,
Okay, I
Framework
thought
is
so.
100%, 100% company. We have Artsum is a mother company, and we have like for the robotics we do with the advanced autonomics, and Framebotics does the factory.
Now,
Mhm,
I'm going to kind of toss a softball out here and
mhm,
hope that this is something that we can talk about. But it's something you and I spoke about last week. And one of the things that I think is going to be a driving force in the advancement of robotics in construction. There are so many modular factories out there right now that are going under. Um, it's not because of robotics. I personally feel like it's because they got the cart a little bit ahead of the horse, and built this massive factory and went into this huge investment before they really did a proof of concept, figured out what it was they were going to build, how they were going to build it, and to get the demand in the market to
mhm,
support their growth and their investment in equipment, machinery, et cetera.
mhm.
And you and I talked about that and agreed that that was the case. One of the things that I found extremely interesting is a concept, is a thought, and I'll put it like this: uh, developing regional factories that can be potentially shared, and that expense shared, that would create panels that you could then use to um, or building components that you can use to make your end product. I think that is a brilliant idea. And I believe that it's going to pull more people into the use of robotics and sharing in the financial, and for the lack of a better word, financial burden that comes with tooling up. We all tool up, and regardless of whatever trade we get into, we have to tool up. You got to go out and invest in the tools to be able to do the job. And this is no different. Can you talk on that a little bit more and about what your thought process is with developing factories?
Thank you so much. This is what also in the ecological aspect, that we don't have to transport the thing from here to there. Like I saw the worldwide, like there's people are making here, transporting there, the
Yeah.
CO2 emission and those things. And then also like using in the area. So that is our thought process. And this is also will be like you said, because it's the factories cost, it's a huge amount of investment. And
Mm-hmm.
when we share and different and someone has the order and someone is going to build there and someone is taking away, so it's kind of actually it came from Germany, where I was working with the customer in near the Frankfurt in Hessen. And I was talking to him, how would it be, because the investment is huge, if we make a factory and people send the design and then they can just take their parts, that would be nice. So we also tried this model a little bit, and the customer was so happy. And there are two of the customers, they wanted to do in the Black Forest and there, and then we implemented the first one, and it was like their data from the construction came there, and then we did it. And this is exactly I think what the people want in the future, because owning the factory, designing the factory, all this thing will be for some who has high numbers and who are already there in the business, and we have been there, that's good one, and also can accelerate. In other side, even the new starters or the startup can join this process, because this is really the thinking of us, because sometimes people with the new ideas come with the better building ideas, and they don't have to now go somewhere and start to make the factory, and they can come to us and say, hey, we have this product, and put in the line. It's
Yeah.
that's our vision for the future. For all over the world, we want to make so many spots, so people don't have to ship it all over the world and make the environment pollutions. So that's also the
Yeah.
thought. So it's kind
Yeah.
of also reducing the carbon footprint
Sure. Yeah.
and
It's
helping.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah. It really is. Especially for the startup. The startup can have the advantages of advanced autonomy and robotics, and as a startup take and have that advantage, and let that help them build their business. They may get to the point that they want their own, and that they're going to build their own factory, and they're going to build multiple factories around the country. Maybe that first co-opt factory is not their be all end all, but it's a great place for them to start. Um, I just, I can't, I go on and on and on about all of the possibilities, great possibilities for people getting into the business. And I talk to startups every day. And one of their big things is, oh, there's just so much to buy and so much to have to do. And no, no, no. Concentrate on what it is you're going to build, design that, get that figured out. And then there are people out there like yourself that can help them figure out that next step and what to do with their equipment and robotics.
Yeah. And that was also in the beginning, I thought about those because, the most, I think paying as a using is the future of manufacturing, not only owning, and then concentrating on their own business. So we do manufacturing,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
customers can concentrate on their product. That is the future of manufacturing. That's what I thought like 13, 14 years ago. My daughter was not even in the world. So I was thinking like, why can't we make the parts? And I was thinking about like IKEA. I'm not against IKEA or something, but like,
yeah,
why can't we design our things? And if I'm small or tall or short, why can't it be everything customized? Everything, I can go to the factory, and maybe even if I am working with a hand, I have a small area where the things are finished, and then I can finish it, paint it, whatever, and man and machine interaction, and I can take my things away, and then that I will love, and I will not throw it if I go from one place to another one, or with durable things and that long lasting. And that was my always the thinking, like not just yeah, it's from mass product, and let's in 5 years we throw it away, buy the new one. So trying to make something that is has the value and has a durable solution for the planet, rather than
yeah,
just shifting. So that was my thought process at that time. I went few times in IKEA and saw so many peoples and things going on. And in Germany, there's like Tuesdays where I used to stay near the university. They used to there used to be a huge pile of thrown up things. And I was thinking like, why? As there should be some solution, and this drive me always. And that was the first carpentry machine which I dreamed of, and the robot which I made, because to put on the table, do all these things and do different calculation, you always need the algorithm, you need the AI. So that's how it started, and to scale it up, and how can I help the whole earth, how can I make it better place? So this is also how we can make earth better place, using
yeah,
together.
and yeah, and I've got to say again what you just said. It, doing it this way allows the builder to do what they do best and stay in the
Yeah.
building space.
Hmm.
If you, I mean, the future is moving to industrialized construction. There's no, people can argue all day long. It doesn't matter. This is where we're going. Industrialized construction, offsite construction. That's where the future is. That's where it's going. And this allows that builder to do what they do best and to not have to wear both hats and be a manufacturer and a builder because they have no experience in the manufacturing field. And that's where a lot of them struggle. So why not
Mhm.
partner with somebody that understands the manufacturing space and you just keep doing what you know how to do? We go on and
That's
on.
the way.
I'm gonna say brilliant so many times that you're
Yeah.
going to get tired of hearing it. I mean, there's just so many good, solid thoughts and concepts and reasoning behind it that, I mean, again, you're always going to have people disagree with you, but
Mhm.
you can't argue the fact that there's some solid information here. How do people get in touch with you if they're interested and they want to learn more?
So we have, they can send us the email, or they can write us in LinkedIn, or call us and ask for the service, make the appointment
Okay.
call. Yeah. We have a team
Okay.
that does according to their needs. Like they give up like what's their need, and we have all now in website also. We are there is a place where you can just write the your
Okay.
informations and then click it OK, and we got it. We'll contact the customers. Yeah.
Okay. And that is arrtsm.com.
info@artsum.com. Yeah. Or
Okay.
info at
Gotcha.
advanced autonomics. We have in the advanced autonomics for the robots, and we have the framebotics. We have info at framebotics.com. That's for the factories. So generally different segments. So we are trying to separate them. So different things, different. Yeah. And also
Okay.
for the easy use, because in the advanced autonomics we do all sort of things, also the drones and metal and all, stone and everything. But for framebotics is more precisely only on uh, the construction business, manufacturing of the. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I can't say thank you enough. Any of the listeners, viewers that want to reach out or have trouble finding you, reach out to me. I'll hook you up. No problems whatsoever. Um, and we're going to definitely do this again because the next one we're going to do in a factory, and we're going to walk through that thing and have a discussion while we watch something being constructed. I think
Yeah.
it would be fascinating. So I always say, we've all built it the old way. Now let's go build it better. Thanks for joining us.